Greetings. Today, the moon continues in Gemini. The moon is the mood of the day, and Gemini is an air sign, helping us focus on our thinking. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, February 7th, and I've got some suggestions, self-care suggestions for you to think about with today's Gemini moon. The moon is waxing, it is getting bigger each night, and we are growing in what we are learning about. What is our creative power? What are we creating? What are we putting our energy and efforts into in this moon cycle, which is an air sign moon cycle that began with the Aquarius new moon. So we are focusing on higher levels of thinking, our vision for the future, and how we can think outside the box to contribute our creative energy toward our vision of possibility or even impossibility, thinking outside the box of what we have seen as possible in the past. Because just because it was impossible or couldn't happen in the past doesn't mean it can't happen in the future, right? The future is wide open. So we need to think about the future that way, as bringing infinite possibility. And from those possibilities, we get to vote. And I don't mean literally vote. We did that. We'll get hopefully more chances to vote, but I am talking about the way that you vote through your actions and through your thinking and through your choices. So this Gemini moon is this waxing toward full Gemini moon is reminding us to look at our thinking. Yesterday, I shared some really powerful thoughts about how we can come together with others in our communication. Look at the language we're using, choose words and ways of communicating that can help us to connect with our fellow human beings. There's a lot of segregation in the world right now in terms of ideas and thinking and language and how we understand the world, what we view as important, and our perspective. So to get outside of our own little boxes, we have to listen to each other. We have to find the ways to speak to others, to share our own thinking and opinions and what is important to us and how we think about that, because we may very well share the same thing that feels important or valuable as someone else, but because we have a different perspective, we talk about it differently, or we think that the path to how you get there is very different. So we might, for example, agree that we want a future for our children. We want our grandchildren, our future generations to have a happy and peaceful and abundant world to live in. We might agree about that, but we might completely disagree about what is the best way to get there. So we need to break down the barriers that we have to being able to relate to one another and find words and ways of listening and ways of speaking that can rebuild those bridges of connection and communication so that we're hearing one another, we're remembering our shared humanity. And this Gemini moon can help us do that by giving us an opportunity to reflect on the language we're using. So here's my self-care tip slash recommendation for this Gemini moon: waxing crescent, or not crescent, but waxing gibbous, meaning it's more than half full. Waxing gibbous, Gemini moon is getting full, right? It's pregnant with possibility. So here is the suggestion I have to work with this Gemini energy, and that is journaling. Gemini moon is a great time for writing and focusing on language and getting your thoughts out. And when you journal, I would encourage you to start by just writing out what is top of mind. Don't censor yourself, don't filter yourself, write exactly how you feel, what words you want to use to express how you feel in your own language, from your own perspective. Use swear words if that's your thing, or find what is like the way for you to get those feelings out on paper. And then once you could focus on what you care about, what you want the world to look like, how you think it should be, what's important to you, what matters, what you care about. That's the kind of thing to journal about. So a journal prompt could be, I care that here is what I care about most in the world. And then again, just write it all out, write how you feel about it. And you don't have to use swear words. Maybe it's a beautiful vision. That's fine too. But write out what you care about and how you feel about that, using your own unfiltered, uncensored words. And then when you're done doing that, take as much time and as much space as you need to write that out. And then when you're done, read it through and look at the words you chose to use and ask yourself, how can I say that in a way that someone else can hear me more clearly, more effectively? Just curiosity, right? So there's no right and wrong here, but asking yourself, if this is what I think, how do I communicate that to another person? Maybe a family member, maybe someone in your community that you have a hard time communicating with or that you don't agree with. And of course, part of this process is listening deeply and giving others that opportunity to say what's important to them and have that chance to find the language to tell you what they feel like they need to say. So there's a lot that needs to happen in the world in terms of healing around the ways that we communicate with one another. But this is one thought about how you might approach that. So again, the journaling practice is to just write out unfiltered and uncensored what's important to you, what you care about, what you want to see in the world, and why it matters. Once you're done getting that out, then look at it, read through it, notice the words you choose. Notice how they might come across to, maybe a particular person you're thinking about how you could communicate with, or maybe a group of people, or maybe people with a certain belief system. How would these words, this language, sound to them? And how might you change the words you're using in order to be heard more effectively, in order that someone else might be able to hear what it is you're saying and really get it and connect with you on that level where they can listen and you can feel heard and that communication is being bridged. So there's a little practical exercise, easy enough to do, and see what it unlocks for you. That's a thought. You can do what you wish, what you will with this Gemini moon energy, but focusing on communication and how to find the right words and what that looks like and feels like for you is a good way to think about today's mood of the day, Gemini moon mood, and vibe of the day. All right, thanks for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care. So hit the subscribe button. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.